2 households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these 2 foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which of you with patient ears attend, what here shall mist, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, oh my word, we'll not carry coals.
For then we should be called yours.
I mean, and we be in collar. We'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of the collar.
I strike quickly, being moved.
Ah, but thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
But to move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
True. And therefore, women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore, I'll push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be cruel with the maids. Cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
Thou must take it in the sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel when I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Oh, draw thy tool. Here comes 2 of the house of the Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, and I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No. Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law on our side. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by and let them take it a list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them, if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better?
Well, sir.
Say better, here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy slashing blow. Aha!
Part, fools! Put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What, art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
Oh, what, drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee. Have at thee, coward!
Clubs, bills, partisans, strike, beat them down. Down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues.
What noise is this? Give me my longsword, ho!
A crutch! A crutch! Why call you for a sword?
Ah, my sword, I say! Old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain Capulet! Hold me not! Let me go!
Thou shalt not stir a foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel. Will they not hear? What? How? You men, you beasts that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, you shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest part away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case, to Old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by where it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them, in the instant came the fiery Tybalt, with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who nothing hurt, withal hissed him in scorn, while we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am that he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drave me to walk abroad, where, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city's side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was aware of me and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, that most are busied when they are most alone, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the flesh of morning dew, adding to clouds, more clouds with his deep sighs. But all too soon, as the all-cheering sun should in the furthest east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from the sunlight steals home my heavy son. And, private in his chamber, pens himself. He shuts up the windows, locks a far daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and proportionist must the humor prove, unless good counsel may cease remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it, nor can I learn from him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both myself and many other friends, but he, his own affection's consular, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and close, so far from sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with an envious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air, or dedicate his beauty to the sun. Could it be but learn from whence his sorrows grow? We would willingly give cure as known.
See where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance, or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's way.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out
Of love?
out of her favor, where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof?
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I've heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first create, O heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not love?
No, 'cause I rather weep
Good heart, at what?
at thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed. With more of thine, this love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
But I've lost myself. I'm not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
What? Shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan? Why, no. But sadly tell me who.
Bid a sick man in sadness make his will. Word ill urged to no one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aim so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
A right fair mark, fair coz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss shall not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Diane's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed. From love's weak childish bow she lives unharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies with beauty dies her store.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste?
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, put us in mind they hide the fair. He that is strucken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note, where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
By saying o'er what we had said before, my child is but a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she are happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those early made. The earth has swallowed all my hopes, but she's a hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart, my will and her consent is but a part. And she agree with the scope of her choice, lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold of an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more most welcome makes my number more. At my poor house look behold this night, earth-rending stars that make the heaven light. Such comfort as those lusty men feel when well-apparelled Erpel at the heel of a limping winter's tread, even so delight much among fresh female buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hero, all see, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view, of many mine being one, may stand in number, the reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, sirrah, trudge among fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written here, and them to say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with the yard, and the tailor with his lass, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned in good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be hope by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection in that to thy eye, and drink poison of the old will die.
Your plaintain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin.
Ow! Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and God den, good fellow.
God did Godden, I pray, sir. Can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book. But, I pray, can you read anything you see?
I, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly. Rest you, Mary.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitravio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valencio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither?
To supper. To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great witch Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you, Mary.
At this same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and, with unattainted eye, compare her face with some I shall show, and I will make thee think this want to crow.
When the devout religion of my nigh maintains such falsehood, then turn tears to fires, and these who often drown could never die, transparent heretics be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love? The all-seeing sun? Ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut! You saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. That I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now shows best.
I'll go along. No such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old I bade her come. What lamb, what ladybird, God forbid. Where's this girl? What, Juliet? Where's Juliet? I've looked all over the house for her, ma'am. I do not know where she is.
Nurse, I need my daughter.
Okay, ma'am. I will keep looking for her, okay?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Oh, nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto the hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teeth be it spoken. I have but 4. She is not 14. How long is it now to Lammastide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd, all the days of the year. Come Lammas even night, she shall be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me, but as I said, on Lammas eve night she shall be 14. That she shall marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years, and she was weaned, I shall never forget it. Of all the days of the year upon that day, for I laid there wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear brain, but I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dog, it felt bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dog. She quoth the dove-house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years. For then she could stand alone, nay, by the rood. She could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, doth, quoth he, dost fall upon thy face. Thou wilt fall backwards when thou wist for wit. Wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my Holland name. The pretty wretch left crying, and said I, to see now how jest should come about. I warrant and I should live 1,000 years, I shall never forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool it stinted, and said I.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam, yet I cannot choose but laugh, to think I should leave crying and say I. And yet I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone, a parlous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, fallest upon thy face, Thou wilt fall backwards when thou comest to age. Wilt thou not, Jule? It stinted and said, I.
And stint thou too. I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Peace I have done, God mark thee to his grace. Thou was the prettiest babe I ever nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Mary, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
An honor! Were I not thine own nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teeth.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Oh, a man, young lady, such a man! All the world, why, he's a man of wax.
Verona summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less?
No less, nay, bigger women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris' love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move. But no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come. Supper served up. You called. My young lady asked for. The nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girls, seek happy nights to happy days.
What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without a apology?
The date is out of such proximity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of laugh, scaring the ladies like a crow keeper, nor no without book prologue faintly spoke. After the prompter for our entrance, but let them measure us by what they will, we'll measure them a measure, and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in, you should burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for prick, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I what curious eyes doth quote deformities? Here, the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. For I am proverbed with a grandsire phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I'm done.
Tut, done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of this Sir Reverence love, where thou stick'st up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, ho!
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay we waste our lights in vain, by like lamps by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that air once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamed a dream tonight.
So did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a little team of atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spiders' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web. The collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film. And in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight, over lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees. Or ladies' lips, who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops over a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as a lies asleep. Then dreams he of another than this. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambusados, Spanish blades, of helms 5 fathom deep. And then, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two, and then sleeps again. This is the very Mab that plaits the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elphics in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkest of nothing.
True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike drum.
Where is Potpan, that he helps not to take away? He shifts a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in one or 2 men's hands, and they unwashed too, it is a foul thing.
Away with the joint stools, remove the cork cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane, and as thou lovest me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and Nell, Antony, and Potpan.
Aye, boy, ready.
You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for, in the great chamber.
We cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, boys, be brisk a while, and the longer liver take all.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. Ha ha, my mistresses! Which of you all will now deny to dance? That she makes dainty, she, I swear, hath corns. And I come near thee now. Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that have worn a visor and tell a whispering tale to fair a lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. Aho, give room and foot it, girls. More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up, and quench the fire. This room is grown too hot. Sirrah, they who looked for sport comes well. Nay, sir, nay, good cousin Capulet, for you and I passed our dancing days. How long is it now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
By Our Lady, 30 years.
Oh, what, man? 'Tis not so much. Oh, 'tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptials of Licento. Come Pentecost as quick as it will, some 25 years, and then we masked.
'Tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30.
Oh, you tell me that. His son was but a ward 2 years ago.
What lady is that, which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear it, sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch my rapier, boy. What, dares the slave come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz. Let him alone. He bears himself like a portly gentleman. And to say in truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not, for the wealth of all the town here in my house, do him disparagement. Therefore, be patient. Take no note of him. It is my will, the which of you thou respect. Show a fair presence and put off thy frowns and ill-beseeming semblances for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, Goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You'll cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to! Go to. You are a saucy boy. So indeed. This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Oh, well said, my hearts! Lord Prince Cox, go. Be quiet, or light, more light! For shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerly, my hearts!
Patience perforce with willful collar meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
Juliet, oh Juliet, if I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus, from my lips by yours, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin from thy lips? O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam.
Madam. Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Mary, bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talk withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Why, God, the sport is at his best.
Aye, so I fear the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Even so. Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen, and good night. More torches here. Come on, let's to bed. Sirrah, by my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
Marry that, I think, be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows there, that would not dance?
I know not.
Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love my loathed enemy?
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of one I danced withal.
Juliet!
Anon, anon, come, let's away, let the strangers are all gone.
No desire doth in his deathbed lie, and young affection gapes to be his heir. That fair for which love groaned, and all would die, with tender Juliet matched, 'tis now not fair. Now Romeo is beloved and loves again, alike bewitched to the charms of looks. But to his foe supposed he must complain, and she steal love's sweet bait from his fearful hooks. Being held a foe, he may not have access to breathe such vows as lovers used to swear. And he so much as in love, her means much less to meet her newly beloved anywhere. The passion lends them power, time means to meet, tempering extremities with extreme sweet.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo, my cousin Romeo.
He is wise, and on my lie hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leaped this orchard wall. Call good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo, humors, madman, passion, lover. Appear thou in the likeness of a sky. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I, me, or pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus, one fair word, one nickname for her pure blind son and heir, young Adam. Cupid, he that shot so trim when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He appeareth not. He heareth not. I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosalind's bright eye, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the demences that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress' circle of some strange nature, letting it there stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. That were some spite. My invocation is fair and honest, and in his mistress' name I conjure only but to raise him up.
Come, he hath himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit as maids call medlars when they laugh alone. Romeo, oh, that she were an open, etc. And thou a pauper in pair. Romeo, good night. All to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. But not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heavens, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being o'er my head as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man, or be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, so Romeo would, were he not Romeo called. Retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all of myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that dost be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to thee, hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stormy limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundest thou of this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far, as vast as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush be paint to my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke. But farewell, compliment. Dost thou love me? I know that wilt say I, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond. And therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardest ere I was ware my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Oh, although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it to thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. Oh, my bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little. I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard being a knight, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come, anon. But if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come. To cease thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love, as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist. Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else I would tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo.
My dear?
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I will still stay to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
Oh, God. 'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father sell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
This gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and flecked darkness like a drunkard reels from forth days past in Titan's fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that's nature's mother is her tomb. What is her burying grave that is her womb? And from her womb children of divers kind we sucking on her natural bosom find. Many, for many virtues excellent, none but for some, and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs, plants, stones, and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good, but strained from that fairer use, revolts the true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns to vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this being smelt, with that part cheers each part, but tasted slays all senses with the heart. Do such opposed kings encamp them still in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, Father.
Oh, benedicite, what early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his eye, keeps watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth assure me thou art uproused by some distemperature, or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been to bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
Oh, God pardon sin. Was thou with Rosalind?
With Rosalind, my ghostly father? No. I forgot that name, and that name's woe.
Oh, that's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou askest me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me, that's by me wounded, both are remedies. Within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confessions finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine, by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today?
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou didst so love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their heart, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hast thou washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline? How much salt water thrown away in waste to season love, that of it doth not taste. And the sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears. Thy old groans ring yet in my ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. And ere thou wast thyself, and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline. Art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline.
Ah, for doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And baddest me bury love.
Not in a grave, to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide not. She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. the other did not so.
Oh, she knew well. Thy love did read but by rote and could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect, I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
After his father's, I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so. She'll sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge, on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write a letter may answer it.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master how he dares being dared.
Oh, alas, poor Romeo. He is already dead, stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with a blind bow boy's butt shaft. And he is a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. Rests me his minim rest 1, 2, and a third in your bosom. A very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
The what?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos, these new tuners of accents. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these perdona-me's who stand so much on the new form that they cannot at ease on an old bench? Oh, their beaux!
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Flash, oh, how art thou fishified? Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura to his lady was but a kitchen wench. To Mary she had a better love to berhyme her. Dido, a dowdy. Cleopatra, a gypsy. Helen and Hero, hidings and harlots. Thisbe, a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The ship, sir. The slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Well said. Follow me this jest now till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing soul singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, Benvolio. Oh, my whip faints.
Switch and spurs, oh, I'll cry a match.
Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done. For if thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole 5. Was I with you for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting. It is a most sharp sauce.
And is it not well served into a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit of chevril that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose, proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Why, is not this better than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable. Now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art, by art as well by nature. For this driveling love is like a great natural that rolls lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there. Stop there.
Well, thou desirest me to stop in my tale against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tale large.
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Oh, a sail, a sail!
Two, a shirt and a smock.
Peter.
Anon.
My fan, Peter.
Oh, good Peter, to hide her face, for her fans the fairer face.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
Oh, God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good den?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man you are.
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar. Quoth a gentleman, can any of you tell me where I might find young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than when he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yea, is the worst well? Very well took, a faith, wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
A bod, so ho.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. An old hair whore is very good meat in Lent. But a hair that is whore is too much for a score when it whores ere it be spent. Huh? Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will the dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Oh, farewell, ancient lady. Farewell. Lady, lady, lady.
Marry, farewell. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
Aye, and speak anything against me. I'll take him down as were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I will find those that shall. Scurvy knave! I am none of his foot-gills, I am, none of his skeins, mates, and there I must stand by too, and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you a pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out, I warrant you. I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Now, afore God, I am so vexed that every part of me quivers. No scurvy, knave, pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say I will keep to myself. But first let me tell ye, if ye should lead her unto a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill-fitting thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Good heart and ill faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which as I take it is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel putting one away?
I warn thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady, Lord, Lord. 'Twas a little prancing thing. Oh, there is a nobleman in town, one Paris that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, has a leaf see a toad at very toad as I see him. I angle her sometimes, and I tell her that Paris is the proper man. But I warrant you, when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the vestal world. Doth not Rosemary and Romeo both begin with a letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R?
Ah, Mocker, that's the dog's name. R is for the... No, I know it begins with some other letter. And she hath the prettiest sentiations of it, of you and Rosemary, that would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter!
Anon.
Peter, take my fan and go before in space.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame! Love's heralds should be thoughts which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good, sweet nurse. O Lord, why lookest thou so? Thou news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am weary, give me a while. Fie, how my bones ache. Oh, what a jaunt I have had.
I would thou hadst my bones and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak, good, good nurse, speak.
Jeez, you, what haste? Can you not stay awake a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath? Oh.
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo, no, not he, though his face be better than any man's. Yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand and a foot and a body, they are not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him, as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this I did know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Oh, Lord, my head aches. What a head I have. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Oh, my back, the other side. Oh, my back, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
High faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says like an honest gentleman, and a courteous and kind, and what a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh God, lady dear, are you not so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforth to your messages yourself.
Oh, here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church, I must another way. To fetch a ladder by the which you love, must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go all to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to fortune, honest nurse, farewell.
Oh, smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Ah, here comes the lady. Oh, so light of foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall so light as vanity.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Oh, Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive, and either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two as one.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl, for now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of a second cup draws it on the drawer, when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, come! Thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy. and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
Nay, and there were two such, we would have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou, why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What, I, but such an eye, would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarreled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the stun. Didst thou now fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his shoes with an old riband, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
The fee simple, oh, simple.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good e'en. A word with one of you?
And but one word with one of us? Oh, couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You will find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo?
Consort? What? Dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us look to hear nothing but discord. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort!
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart, here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look. Let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Oh, well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before the field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore, farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest. I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission! Alla Staccato carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Oh, good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
Draw, Benvolio! Leave down their weapons! Gentlemen, for shame! Why this outrage? Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt! Good Mercutio!
I am hurt. A plague of both your houses! Oh, I am sped! Is he gone and hath nothing?
What hurt?
I am scratched. Oh, a scratch, Mary. 'Tis enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave, man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague of both your houses! Zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights for the book of arithmetic. Why the devil did you come between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio. I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my kinsman. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead! That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy did consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Ha! Ha!
Ah!
Ah!
Romeo, away, be gone! The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death. If thou art taken, hence be gone. Away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer. Which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir. Go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name. Obey.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all, the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin. Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, my cousin husband. Oh, the blood is spilt. Oh, my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of our shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urge withal your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all as hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled, but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll amerce you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears, nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else, when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Oh, gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can do to their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood, bathing in my cheeks, with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Oh, come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, And she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the cords.
Aye, me. What news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well, a day, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack, the day he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, who would ever thought it, Romeo?
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound, I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark here on his manly breast. A pious course, a bloody pious course. Pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth, to earth resign, end motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, the best friend I ever had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that I should ever live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dearer lord? Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished. Romeo killed him. He is banished.
Oh God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alas, the day it did.
Oh, serpent heart hid with a flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolfish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest, oh, just opposite to what thou justly seemst, a damned saint, an honorable villain? O nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in moral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men, all perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Ah, where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is a shame to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some words there was worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory, like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished it. That banish it, that one word, banish it, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Or if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with others' griefs, why followed not when she said Tybalt's dead? Thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved, but with a rearward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my mother and my father, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry, for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords. Poor ropes, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die maid and widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maiden head.
Hide your chamber, I'll find Romeo. To comfort you I won't wot well where he is. Harkye, your Romeo will be here at night. All to him he is hid in Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth. Come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Oh, too familiar is my dear son with such sour company. But I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips, not body's death, but banishment.
Ha! Banishment? Be merciful! Say death! For exile has more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. But be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence, banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death? Then banished is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cuttest my head off with a golden axe, and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
Deadly sin, rude unthankfulness. Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned that blackward death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture, and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal a mortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush, as thinking their own kisses sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, thou ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished? Oh, friar, the damned use that word in hell, howlings attended. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed, to mangle me with that word banished?
Thou fond, mad man, hear me but speak a word.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk. Philosophy, to comfort thee. though thou art banished.
Yet banish it. Hang up philosophy! Unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom, it helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when that wise men have no eyes?
Oh, let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me and like me banished. Then mightst thou speak, then mightst thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Rise, what knocks? Could Romeo hide thyself?
Not I, unless the breath of heart-sick groans mist-like enfold me from the search of eyes.
How thy knock? Who's there? Romeo, arise. Thou wilt be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. By and by, God's will. What simpleness is this? I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Well, welcome then.
Oh, holy friar, tell me, O holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There, on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, is he even in my mistress' case? Just in her case? Oh, woeful sympathy, pious predicament, even so lies she. Blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up, and you be a man, for Juliet's sake. For her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Nurse.
Ah, sir. Well, death's the end of it all.
Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth she not think me an old murderer? Now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own. Where is she, and how doth she, and what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps, and now falls on her bed and then starts up again, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo's cries, and then falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her. Has that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman? Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Oh, thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art, thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemly woman in a seeming man, or ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Will thou slay thyself, and stay thy lady too, that lives in thee? By doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, the heavens, and the earth? Since birth and heavens and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose. Fie, thou shamest thy shape, thy love, thy wit, which, like a usurer, aboundest in all, and usest none in that true use indeed, which should bedeck thy shape, thy love, thy wit. Thy noble shape is but a form of wax, digressing from the valor of man. Thy dear love sworn but hollow perjury, killing that love which thou hast vowed to cherish. Thy wit, that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both, like a powder in a skitless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own ignorance. and thou dismembered with thine own defense. What? Rouse thee, man. Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The law threatened death, becomes thy friend, and it turns it to exile, and there art thou happy. A pack of blessings light up upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber hence, and comfort her. But look thou stayest not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 2300,000 times more joy than thou wentest forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all night to hear thy good counsel. Oh, what learning is! My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
Here, sir, a ring she bid me give you. Sir, hurry you, make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Well, go hence. Good night. And here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence. Sojourn to Mantua. I'll find your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell and good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. Shall not come down tonight, I promise you, but for your company, I would have been abed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all aspects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, on Wednesday next. Soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday? Well, Wednesday is too soon. Well, Thursday let it be. Well, Thursday, tell her she be married to this noble earl, and will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep it no great ado, a friend or two, for hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. What say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. Well, Thursday it'll be then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber, ho, before me. 'Tis very, very late. that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds at yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Oh, yon light is not daylight. I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhales, to be to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore, stay yet. Thou needest not to be gone.
Let me be taken. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say, yon gray is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow, nor that is not the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. It is. High hints, be gone away. Oh, it is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and loathed toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they had changed voices too, since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to day. Oh, now be gone. More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam,
Nurse?
your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then window, let the day in and let life out.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss, and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, Lord, I, husband, friend, I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh, God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now. Thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookest pale.
And trust me, love, in my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
Who is it that calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What? Wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Aye, madam, from the reach of these my hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
Oh, we will have vengeance for it. Fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him, to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon his body that slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expects nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time? What day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Petersburg's church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I must wed ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how well he will take it at your hands.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. How now, a conduit girl? What, still in tears, evermore showering? In one little body thou counterfeit'st a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thine eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in this salt flood, the winds thy sighs. Who raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset the tempest-tossed body? How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft. Take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How? Will she have none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud I can never be of what I hate, but thankful for hate that is meant love.
How now, chop logic. Well, what is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud, Mistress Minion? You thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds. But fiddle your fine joints against Thursday next. Go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrier, out, you baggage, tallow face.
Fie! What are you, mad?
Good father, I beseech you, on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
I'll hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wench. I'll tell thee what, get thee to church on Thursday and never look at me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought ourselves blessed that God had sent us but our only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and that we have curse in having her out on our hidling.
God heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips. Go!
I speak no treason.
Oh, God, you go.
May one not speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity o'er our gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it make me mad. Day, night, hour, time, tide, work, play, alone in company. Still my care hath been to ever matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demeanors, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts. Portion as one thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool of whining raiment and a fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not bed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you, pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Gaze where you will not house with me. Look to it, think on it. I do not use in jest. As you be mine, I'll give you to my friend, and you will not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you. I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if you do not make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, God. Oh, nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband send it to me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse?
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished and all the world to nothing. That he dares now come back to challenge you. Or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then since the case so stands and now doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he is a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish cloud to him, an eagle, madam. Hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye, as Paris hath. Be true, my very heart. I think you are happy in the second match, for it excels your first, or if it did not, your first is dead, or 'twere as good as he were, and living here you have no use to him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else be shrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in, and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which ye hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir? Well, the time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Oh, uneven is the course. I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love. For Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage, to stop the indignation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
Would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price, being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrongest it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. Strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise. And with this knife, I'll help it presently. God join my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands, and ere this hand by thee to Romeo sealed, shall be the label to another deed. Or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another, this shall slay them both. Therefore, out of thy long experienced time, give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extremes and me this bloody knife shall play the umpire, arbitrating that which the commission of thy years and art could to no issue of true honor bring. But not so long to speak, I long to die if what thou speakest, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame, that copest with death himself to escape from it. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris, from off the battlements of yonder tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are. Chain me with roaring bears, or shut me nightly in a charnel house, overcovered quite with dead man's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in his shroud. Things that to hear them told have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt, to live an unsustained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home. Be merry. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. And take thee this vial, being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou of, when presently through all thy veins run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The rose in thy lips and cheek shall fade to paly ashes, the eyes' windows fall. Like death, when he shuts up the day of life, each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. And in the meantime, against thou shalt wake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting of it.
Give me. Oh, tell me not of fear.
Hold, get you gone. Be strong and prosperous. In this resolve, I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
So many guests invite us here are rich. Sirrah, go in to get me 20 cunning cooks.
You shall have none ill, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers.
How canst thou try them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers. Therefore, he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone. We shall much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, he may chance to do some good on her. Peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See where she comes from, shrift with Mary, look!
Now, my headstrong, where have you been gadding?
Where I have learned me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests. And I am enjoined by holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here and beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforth I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up by tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Lawrence's cell and gave him what becomes love I might, not step over the bounds of modesty.
Why, I am glad on it. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see the county. Aye, Mary, go and say, fetch him hither. Oh, now, afore God, this recovered holy friar, our whole city will be much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There is time enough.
Oh, go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
We'll be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Tush, I will stir about and things will be well. I warrant thee, wife. Go there to Juliet, help deck her up. I'll not to bed tonight, let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. What ho, they're all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him up against it tomorrow. Oh, my heart is wondrous light since wayward girl is so reclaimed.
Aye, those attires are best. But gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many orisons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
I don't know where we are.
What? Are you busy, ho? Need you my help?
No, madam, we have culled such necessaries as are behovel for our state tomorrow. So, please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you, for I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast a need.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. Oh, I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, Vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be poison, which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How if when I am laid into the tomb, I walk before the time that Romeo comes to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of this place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle, where for these many 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud, where, as they say, at some hours in the night spirits resort. Alack, alack, is it not like that I, so early waking, what with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals, hearing them, run mad? Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman bone, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, I come to thee. This I do drink to thee.
Hold. Take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse.
They call for dates and quinces in the pastry.
Come, stir, 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 the second cock hath crowed, the curfew bell hath rung, 'tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica, and spare not the cost.
Go, you cot queen, go! Get you to bed, Faith. You'll be sick tomorrow for this night's watching.
Oh, no, no, not a whit, what? I have watched ere now all night for lesser cause and ne'er been sick.
Ah, you have been a mouse hunt in your time, but I will watch you from such a watching now.
A jealous hood, a jealous hood. Oh, now, fellows, what's there?
Things for the cook, sir, but I know not what.
Make haste, make haste. Sirrah, fetch drier logs. Call Peter, he will show you where they are.
I have a head, sir, that will find out logs and never trouble Peter for the matter.
Mass, well said. Marry your son. Thou shalt be a loggerhead, good faith. 'Tis day. The county will be here with music straight, for he said so I would. No, I hear him near. Nurse, wife, what ho? What, nurse, I say? Go waken Juliet. Go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste, make haste. The bridegroom, he has come already. Make haste, I say.
Mistress? What, Mistress Juliet? Fast I warned her, she. Why, lamb, why, lady, fie you slug a bed? Why, love, I say, madam, sweetheart, why, bride? What, not a word, you take your pennyworth now? Sleep for a week, for the next night, I warrant. The county Paris has set up his rest. They do shall rest but little, God forgive me. Marion, amen, how sound is she asleep? I must needs wake her, madam, madam, madam. Aye, let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up, ill faith, will it not be? What, dressed and in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you, lady, lady, lady. Alas, alas, help, help, my lady's dead. Oh, well, the day that I was ever born. Some aqua vitae, ho, my lord, my lady!
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look, look, oh heavy day!
Oh, me. Oh, me. My child, my only life, revive! Look up, or I will die with thee! Help! Help! Call help!
For shame! Bring Juliet forth! Her lord has come!
She's dead to see, she's dead! Alack the day!
Alack the day, she's dead, she's dead, she's dead!
Let me see. Oh, alas, she's cold. Her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her face like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
Oh, lamentable day!
Oh, woeful time!
Death, vows taken hence to make me wail, ties up my tongue, will not let me speak.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. Oh, son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. I will die and leave him all life, having all his deaths.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face, and doth it give me such a sight as this?
Cursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day! Most miserable hour that ever time saw in lasting labor of his pilgrimage. But one poor nothing child, but one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched it from my sight.
Oh, woeful, woeful, woeful day, most lamentable day, most woeful day that I ever did yet behold. Oh day, oh hateful day, never was seen so black a day as this. Oh, woeful, woeful day.
Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain, most detestable death, by thee beguiled, by cruel thee quite overthrown. O love, O life, not life, but love and death.
Despised, distressed, hated, martyred, killed. Uncomfortable time, or camest thou now to murder our solemnity? Child, my soul, not my child, thou art dead. My child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Oh, peace, ho, for shame. Confusion's cure lies not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better it is for the maid. Your part in her could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, and 'twas your heaven she should be so advanced, and weep ye now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself? Oh, in this love you love your child so ill, that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She is not well married that lives married long, but she's best married that dies married young. Now dry up your tears and stick your rosemary on this fair course, and, as the custom is, in all her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us in lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to sad burial feast, our solemn hymns to sullen dirges change. Our bridal flowers serve for a buried corse, and all things change them to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam go with him, and go Sir Paris. Every one prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lower upon you for some ill, Move them no more by crossing their high will.
Faith, we may put up our pipes and be gone.
Honest, good fellows, ah, put up, put up. For well you know this is a pitiful case.
Aye, by my troth, the case may be amended.
Musicians, oh musicians, heartsease, heartsease. Oh, will you have me live, play heartsease.
Why heartsease?
Oh musicians, because my heart itself plays my heart is full of woe, and play me some merry dump to comfort me.
Not a dump we, 'tis no time to play now.
You will not then?
No.
I will give it you soundly.
What will you give us?
No money, on my faith, but the gleek. I will give you the minstrel.
I will give you the serving creature.
Then will I lay the serving creature's dagger on your pate. I will carry no crotchets. I'll ray you, I'll fie you. Do you note me?
And you ray us and fa us? You note us? Pray you, put up your dagger and put out your wit.
Then have at you with my wit. I will dry beat you with an iron wit and put up my iron dagger. Answer me like men. When griping grief the heart doth wound, and doleful dumps the mind oppress, then music with her silver sound. Why silver sound? Why music with her silver sound? What say you, Simon Catling?
Marry, sir, because silver hath a sweet sound.
Pretty. What say you, Huberbeck?
They silver sound because musicians sound for silver.
Pretty too. What say you, James Soundpost?
Faith, I know not what to say.
Oh, I cry you mercy. You are the singer. I will say for you. It is music with her silver sound, because musicians have no gold for sounding. The music with her silver sound will speedy help doth lend redress.
But a pestilent knave is the same. Hang him, Jack. Up, will in here, tarry for the mourners, and stay dinner.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's Lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathes such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah, me! How sweet is love itself possessed when but love's shadow are so rich in joy. News from Verona, how now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did not leave it for my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper, and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
To beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. O mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples, meager were his looks, Sharp misery had worn him to the bones. And in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes. And about his shelves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds. Remnants of packed thread and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting this penury, to myself I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, the same thought did but forerun my need. And this same needy man must sell it me, as I remember this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary!
Pause so loud!
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gyros will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. Need and oppression starveth in thine eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it, and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty, and not thy will.
But this liquid, thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There is thy gold. Worse, poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that thou may not sell. I sell thee poison. Thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial, not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Holy Franciscan friar, brother Ho!
Oh, this same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or, if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me, here in the city visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bare my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it, here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee, so fearful were they of infection.
Unhappy fortune. By my brotherhood, this letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, get me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Oh, now must I to the monument alone. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath had no notice of these accidents. But I will write again to Mantua, and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Give me thy torch, boy, hence, and stand aloof. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen under yon yew trees, lay there all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose unfirm with digging up of graves. But thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, a signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee, go.
I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Sweet flowers, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh woe! Thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will dew. Or, wanting that, with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch? Muffle me, night, awhile.
Give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence, be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I further shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous. And farewell, good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maul, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished haughty Montague, that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died. And here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone, let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone! By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
I do defy thy conjugations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
Oh, Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch.
Oh, I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb, lie me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad? Hearing him talk of Juliet to think it was so. Oh, give me thy hand. One writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no, a lantern slaughtered youth. Here lies Juliet. And her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there by a dead man interred. How oft when men are at the point of death have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that had sucked the honey of thy breath hath no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, lies thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct. Come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick, weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, the drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Oh, St. Francis be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there?
Here's one, a friend and one that knows you well.
Oh, bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yon that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern it, it burneth in the capel's monument.
Doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
How long hath he been there?
Full half an hour.
Oh, go with me to the vault.
Oh, I dare not, sir. My master knows, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents.
Stay then. I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill, unlucky thing.
I did sleep under this yew tree here. I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master slew him.
Romeo! Alack! Alack, what blood is this, which stains the stony entrance of the sepulchre? What means these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this place of peace? Romeo! Oh, pale! Who else? What? Paris, too? As steeped in blood? Oh, what an unkind hour! Is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
I hear some noise. Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come, come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead. In Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee amongst a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm.
Lead, boy. Which way?
Yea, noise. Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger! Ow! Oh, shit. Oh, happy dagger! This is thy sheath. Oh, there, Russ, and let me die.
This is the place, there, where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the church. Go, some of you, whoever you find attached. Pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead. Who here last hath lain these two buried? Go, tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some other search. We see the ground whereon these woes do lie, but the true ground of all these piteous woes, we cannot without circumstance descry.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
What should it be that they shall shriek abroad?
The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry towards our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears? Watchman, have you anything to say?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here is a fire, and slaughtered Romeo's men, with instruments upon them, fit to open these dead men's tomb.
Oh, heavens. Oh, wife, look how our daughter bleeds. This dagger hath mistaken for... Lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and missheed not daughter's bosom.
Oh me, this sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up, to see thy son and heir more early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What woe conspires against mine age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
Thou will untaught. Thou, what manners in this? To press before thy father to grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, so we can clear these ambiguities. And I know their spring, their head, and their true descent. And then will I be general of your woes, and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion. Where are the parties of suspicion?
My pardon for being delayed. A mouse ran across the chamber. I am the greatest, able to do the least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand, both to impeach and purge, myself condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
I will be brief, for my short date of breath is not so long as is a tedious tale. Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doom day, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city, for whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her, betrothed, and would have married her perforce to county Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bids me devise some means to rid her from the second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime I writ to Romeo, that he should hither come as this dire night, to help take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But when he bore my letter, Friar John, who stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back, then all alone at the prefixed hour of her waking came I to take her from her kindred's vault, meaning to keep her closely at my cell till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But when I came, some minute ere the time of her awakening, here ultimately lay the noble Paris and true Romeo, dead. She wakes, and I entreated her to come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience. But then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she, too desperate, would not go with me, but, as it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy, and if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before this time unto the rigor of severest law.
We still have no need for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say in this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua to this same place, to this same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father, and threatened me with death going in the vault. I departed not and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the county page that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. all are punished.
O brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold. While that Verona by name is known, there shall no figure such rate be set as that true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his lady lie, or sacrifices for our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun, for sorrow, will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.